Are you having difficulty with anger, managing anger? Are you wanting to overcome anger? Maybe understand it a little bit and learn how to just not get so angry and triggered and explosive. Well, that's what this video is about. And also in this video, it leads to an absolutely free series to help you to be able to process through emotions, particularly emotions that are strong like anger. And that'll be down below the link in the description. And it's absolutely free, no sign up required. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about a perspective of anger a little bit. And as well, some solutions. And my name is Arne Pedersen from Awareness and Health, and I'm a mindfulness-based counseling hypnotherapist in Victoria, BC, and I help people online and in person to move through challenges like anger and OCD, anxiety, things like that. And that's not what this video is about, though. But I have a background actually in a lot of anxiety. Moving through, that's what led me to become a therapist. And anger was huge in my life when I was younger. I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. And basically you just hold it in and you just hold it in and you pretend on the outside that you're doing okay. Then all of a sudden, everything would explode. And either I was having anxiety panic attacks and I was pushing stuff down inside, avoiding what I felt, or I was having these explosive reactions where I was breaking things and throwing things and a lot of swearing and yelling and just getting incredibly upset and triggered over hardly anything. I've broken at least one cell phone, several other kinds of phones, and during phone calls where I got angry. During driving, I've actually broke with my fist 2 windshields years and years ago. I just had huge outbursts of anger. I would throw things, I would break things. I put a lot of holes in walls. And fortunately, I never was into fighting, that never happened. I didn't hurt people physically that way with my anger. But I'm pretty sure I hurt people emotionally with my anger. Now, how does it manifest for you? Do you have a lot of relationships where you've damaged with anger? Do you get triggered? You don't know how to deal with it? You've tried to push anger down. You've tried, here it comes, I'm just going to push it down. I'm going to try to not feel. But it just sort of pushes it down and saves it for another day. It's like pushing down this spring that pretty soon it just can't hold and it explodes up. And expressing anger, they say, oh yeah, go pound on a pillow or something like that. But I've always found, and other people I've talked to and worked with it, that just kind of makes it worse. It makes the sort of rage take off even more. And it just sort of it may feel good in the moment to get it out, but it supports the habit, the behavior of expressing what you feel with physical damaging outbursts. And instead, what if you could be with what you feel? What if you were able to resolve all that energy you pushed down? You were able to resolve all the whatever unhappiness and difficulties within yourself and the judgment. So you weren't feeling so difficult with situations anymore. You were able to be more patient and feel more confident and be able to connect to your words better and process through just the energy that comes up in the moment. Rather than it come up, you don't know what to deal with it, and it just explodes and wants to come through and smash something or yell or just, push against somebody or something. Well, that's what this is about, to help you learn to do that. The program I talked about, it's a 6-week series, that will help you do that. And today, really, think about anger. Think about it as energy. It's not, I don't consider anger a true emotion. It's not a true emotion. It's something that's very connected to a perception of, I don't feel good about this. I don't like this. There's a buildup of energy, of unresolved emotion within us where we have not been able to process what we feel. And maybe it's based with certain kinds of beliefs of I don't feel good enough, or I'm unworthy, or life's against me, or things like that, these sort of unhealthy belief systems within our subconscious mind. And what happens is things happen in life, and we're used to disconnecting. We're used to disconnecting because we don't feel good about what we feel. We don't feel good about the situation or ourself or something. So we keep pushing it down and pushing it down. And what happens, it keeps feeding these thoughts, this way of looking at things, where we start to just get angry. We think about it, and it turns into more and more and more, and pretty soon that bothers us. But it's a thought in our mind. It's the perception, how we're seeing something that it's really bothering us. We're having this resistance against that. We feel all this stuff and we see that happening and we think that's causing me to be angry because it's triggering anger, and that's what's happening, or that's what that person's saying. This is the person driving in front of me doing the thing I don't want them to do, and it's making me angry, so it's their fault. So we get angry at them. But really, that's a thought process. That's an expression of the beliefs within our subconscious mind, habitual habits. If we could instead be with what we feel, we notice the energy coming up with anger, we notice the thoughts, but we come back to our body and be with what we feel, not reacting to the anger. Now we have to become more aware of what we feel and practice being with what we feel to be able to not react in the moment with these emotions. Okay, so as we're able to go into our breathing, be with what we feel. I talk about this in a lot of videos and with an awareness practice of practicing at home so that you can come back to your body. Disconnecting from your thoughts, come back to your body. Every time you get pulled away, you come back to your body, to your breathing. And that builds a practice to come back. So when a trigger happens and you're feeling this overwhelmment and you want to smash something, yell and rage at something or blame somebody, well, you've got this habit of coming back into your body, and under that, when that happens, you're able to process the energy through your body, and the thoughts don't take you away. And it's the thoughts that when they take us away, that's where the reaction happens, because we're simply just reacting. The thought happens and simply a behavior is just assigned and we just simply react. And it's usually the habit of resistance and not liking something and pushing against something and being angry. So I say it's not a real emotion because it's really based on our thoughts and our sort of belief systems, our filters of how we perceive life. But if we're able to be in the moment, directly in the moment, and a lot of emotion comes up and we can process it and be with it, it doesn't build up anymore. It's not pushing down on that spring. It's not building up, and we're not shoving it under. We're not building the spring up so then all of a sudden when something happens that's a bit too much, it just springs up and all explodes and we get angry. Okay, we can be in the moment and we can be calm. When we're calm, we actually have more choices. When we're calm and relaxed, more of our mind is available to take more conscious action. So if this really makes a lot of sense to you, but you're wondering, well, how do I process what I feel? I never learned how to do that. I mean, it took me a long time to learn this and to understand how to process through what I feel. But I know how to do it now, and I help a lot of people do it, and I've been doing it for years. So down in the description, that'll take you to the third video in my series called Feeling. This section of the program that it talks about feeling, being with the feeling sensations in your body, to be able to be with and process through what you're feeling. When you can process through what you're feeling, it's not getting shoved down and built up anymore. You're not depressing, pushing down the spring with unresolved emotions and things that bother you. When you're pushing stuff down all the time, where's it going? It just builds up for another day, and it's going to explode up when something happens, and then everything that explodes up gets blamed on that thing, and you express it, maybe violently. Maybe you get upset, and you're always getting upset and impatient. But as you can practice being with what you feel, you can allow the anger to be there, the feelings, the strong emotions, the energy, the sensations, the charge, the high charge, but you can breathe through it. And then you can mindfully guide yourself through the experience, acknowledging, okay, I'm feeling a lot. But you can process through it, and it gives you freedom to choose an action rather than the anger dictating your action through a reaction of automatic behavior. That's kind of a helpless feeling when we just, I'm not going to be angry anymore, okay, I'm going to be better, not going to yell anymore, I'm not going to be so resistant, and I'm not going to be so defensive with my friends or my partner, I'm not going to yell or say mean things. But things build up, and all of a sudden something triggers us, and we just lose control, and it just comes out. That's because so much is built up, and we have no way to process through it. Now, when we can be present and be in this moment, we can breathe through and process what we feel, and then there's not so much built up anymore. We're able to resolve it. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of practice, but then you build the unconscious, automatic, subconscious habit of being able to process what you feel. And then when strong emotions are there through a trigger, something triggers you, something unexpected. That's life. Sometimes things build up and something happens, but then we're able to go, oh, wow, am I feeling a lot? And I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to guide myself through it, take a moment. And then we relax our autonomic nervous system. We don't go into fight or flight. We don't trigger into that reactive behavior. We're able to then mindfully look around, see the bigger picture, and really assess a much better solution. And we feel better. We process through the emotion. Okay, we're not ignoring it. We're not pushing it away. We're not expressing it unhealthily. We're actually allowing ourselves to be with it and to process through it in a healthy way so that it's processed. We've experienced it. We've moved through it and the energy's gone. And then after a little bit, I feel so much better. And each time we do it, we get better and better. I almost forgot. You're probably wondering, all this stuff I've done over the years, I used to get so angry, has it helped? Do I still get angry? Well, I hardly get angry now. Actually, it really doesn't build to that point because I've learned to process through what I feel when I feel stressed. It doesn't build up. I don't push it down, and it doesn't turn into a spring that explodes up anymore. But sometimes, I'm human. Things happen, a bunch of things add up. I'm feeling a little bit emotionally stretched. I really haven't had enough time to sort of recuperate from things and feel balanced again. And then something happens that really is unexpected, and I might feel angry. I might feel a lot of emotion, but it always turns into anger from, oh, I really don't like this. I really don't like what they did. That really bothers me. As soon as I say that, boom, I feel angry. But when I feel it, I realize that because it's a very strong feeling and I don't feel it much anymore. And I'm practiced at knowing what to do to bring myself back to center. So when I feel it, usually I'll just acknowledge, wow, I'm feeling really angry over this. Sometimes I'm with somebody and I'll say, wow, I'll talk to them. I'm feeling really angry over this, and I'll talk just a little bit, not complaining, talking, but expressing how I feel. And then I'll breathe and I'll be with what I feel and I'll process through it and I'll be able to let it go. Sometimes somebody does something and I'm with them and I feel really angry with what they did, and I think about it. I think we had plans, or this was our agreement, and I feel really angry. And there are times where I'll express it to them. I'm feeling really angry with what you did. I'm not saying you made me angry, but I'm feeling really angry with what you did. Okay, and I'm able to then go into a better place where I have options at that place. I feel empowered. And so I'll move through what I feel. I'll go into my breathing, connect back to my body. I might have to talk to the person. I might have to set a boundary, but I'll sit with it and make a mindful choice of what to do. Sometimes somebody's done something where I've had to remove them out of my life, or I've had to talk to them and set a boundary and say, this isn't okay what you did, and it needs to be resolved in some way that feels good and proper, and it doesn't always get resolved. But I don't leave myself feeling angry over it anymore. And so when this feeling happens, it's not that often anymore. I don't break things. I don't throw things anymore. I don't yell in a rage anymore. It's just not there to that level anymore. So you can get there. And when it happens, you can feel the feeling, and you can practice with simple mindfulness practices to build the behavior and the habit to be able to come back to your body and be with what you feel and disconnect from your thoughts so they're not controlling you with triggered reactions that are the habit of expressing through anger and judgment and physical violence maybe, or verbal violence, or yelling or smashing things that it just doesn't happen anymore. Once you get better and better at it, you can move through it. So in the description down below, there is the video series that I've got that will help you to move through anger from start to finish. But the third video is the one down below that called Feeling. Watch that one. I think you'll get a lot from that, and it'll really let you know if this is something you want to do. And then you can start right from the beginning of the program at the first video. So if you like this video, click the like button. It really helps a lot more people to find my channel, and it really supports me to want to do more videos like this to help people. And so go ahead, check out the video and do the practices in that. And it takes a little bit of time. The whole program is sort of it's a 5-6 week program. It takes a little bit of time to make these kinds of changes. So it's worth your time to do it though, because you will become empowered and be able to move through anger so it's not controlling your life anymore. So my name is Arne Pedersen, and I wish you an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next video.